Okay, we are looking at analysis of regression. Analysis of regression, or we call it regression analysis. Now, what is regression? Regression is the relationship between two variables. Relationship between two variables. That is regression. Relationship between two variables. Now, of course, it is correlation that shows the degree of relationship between two variables. Let's assume now your regression equation. Now, regression equation. Now, regression equation is the equation that shows the linear relationship between the dependent and independent variable. Of course, y is the dependent variable, and x is the independent variable. So, while our a is the intercept, the b is the slope. So this is your regression equation. Now, in any regression equation, what you are always looking for is the a and b. What you are always looking for is the value of a and b. And what does this a means? A means the value of y when there is no x, and b means a unit change in y in x will bring about b times changes in y. Now, what I'm saying in a nutshell is this. If, for example, I have y equals to 4 plus 2x. Now, you know, if we look at two variables, let's say adverts and sales, for example, which one depend on the other? Sales depend on adverts. That is, the number of adverts you make determines the sales you make. So the sales that you make depend on the number of adverts that you have done. So since sales depend on adverts, sales is dependent variable represented by y, and then advert is the x. Now I'm just using sales and advert to explain. Now, what this equation is showing, if I want to interpret 4 and 2, is that the value of sales is 4 when there is no advert. That's how to interpret that 4. The value of sales is 4 when there is no advert. Then these two, how do you interpret it? A unit change in advert will bring about 2 times increase in sales. A unit change in advert will bring about 2 times increase in sales. Okay, so if you now have y equals to 10 minus 4x, for example, and y is still sales, x is advert, let's assume. So how do you interpret this? The value of sales is 10 when there is no advert. Then this is minus 4. You know, this one is plus 2. A unit change in x, or a unit change in advert rather, will bring about 4 times decrease in sales. Why decrease? Because it's negative. Here, a unit change in advert will bring about 2 times increase in sales. Okay, knowing, having seen that, now what we now want to learn is that if you are given a question, how do you solve it? Now I've told you that in regression equation, which is y equals to a plus bx, now you are always looking for a and b, and your b is n summation xy minus summation x summation y over n summation x squared minus summation x all squared. Then while your a is summation y over n minus b summation x over n. Your a can also be y bar minus bx bar. This is the same thing. Whether you use this for a or this, you will get the same answer. So now these are the formulas for your b and your a. Now let's try to take a question and then find the regression equation. Now let's say you have a question like given, so let's say you have this x, y, and say you have 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 2, 8, 5, and in this you want to find, they said find the regression equation. Now they now say x, find x, find y. That's when x is 7 and x when y is 8 or when y is 4. Look at this. Now let's still assume that our x is dependent variable, which is advert, and y is sales. So in this place that they say find y when x is 7, it's like saying find the value of sales when advert is 7. That's what they mean. And this one that they say find x when y is 4, it's like saying find advert when sales is 4. Now how do you solve this question? Now solution. So try to come here. You have x, which are 2, 4, 6, 1, y, which is 3, 2, 8, 5. Then you now find xy. So xy means that you want to multiply, and you also find x squared. So xy means 2 times 3, 6, 4 times 2, 8, 6 times 8, 48, 1 times 5, 5. Then x squared means you want to square this x. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 4, 16, 6 times 6, 36, 1 times 1, 1. You see that? So the next thing, you will now add up all this. Summation x, summation y, summation xy, summation x squared. So let's add this together. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Then 3 plus 2 is 5. This is 10, 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. Now 48 plus 8 is 56. 56 plus 6 is 72. 72 plus 5 is 77. Then you have 36, 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 plus 36 is 56. Plus 1 is what? 57. So With this now, let's get our b first. Now our b is n summation xy minus summation x summation y over n summation x squared minus summation x all squared. So our b is going to be n. How many numbers am I given? 4 numbers. If you are given 7 numbers, your n will be 7. So summation xy, I can pick it from my table. What is it? 77 minus summation x 13, summation y 18 over n is 4, summation x squared, this is it, 57 minus summation x all squared, that's 13 squared. So our b now is going to be 4 times 77. Use your own calculator while I use mine. Let me get my own calculator. Okay, I've gotten my own calculator, so I can say 4 times 77, 4 times 77, that will give us 308 minus 13 times 18, 13 times 18, that will give us 234 over 4 times 57, 4 times 57, 4 times 57, that will give us 228 minus 13 squared should be 169. 13 times 13, that's 169. So is equal to, if you subtract the top, you are going to have 308 minus 234. That will give us 74 over 228. 228 minus 169. That will give us 59. So by the time you divide that, your b is going to be 74 divided by 59. So that will give us 1.25. 1.25. You see that? So we've gotten our b. So the next thing we will now do is to get our a. Our a. Now let's try to get our a by cleaning this question. So let's get our a somewhere here. So I can say our a is summation y over n minus b summation x over n. So our a is going to be what summation y? 18 over n. N means the number of variables you have, 4, minus b. You know you've gotten b. That's why you must always get B first, because the answer of B is in formula of A. So B is now 1.25 into bracket summation x. Our summation x is 13. So 13 over n is 4. So you see that our A now becomes 18 divided by 4. So 18 divided by 4 is equal to 4.5 minus 1.25. 1.25 times 13. 1.25 times 13. That's 16.25 divided by 4. 4.06. Let's say 4.06. So eventually our A is going to be 4.06 minus 4.5. So we can say our A is 0.44. So let's say 0.44. That's our A. So with this now, I've gotten my B and I've gotten my A. So I can clean this place. I don't want to clean the B and the A. Now if I clean that place, now I can now say that our regression equation is y equals to, don't forget that regression equation is always y equals to A plus bx. That's your regression equation. So y is equal to A. What's our A that we got? 0.44 plus B. What's the B that we got? 1.25x. So this is now your what? Regression equation. So that is the answer to this first one, regression equation. They now say from this regression equation, find y when x is 7. So what you just do is to say y is equal to 0.44 plus 1.25 into bracket 7. That is where you see x, put 7 there. Don't forget that this is your regression equation. So you will still write this. Then when you see x, put 7. So let's do this together. So I'm going to have 1.25 times 7. So that will give me y equals to 0.44 plus 8.75. So if you add this together, your y is going to be plus 0.44. So that will give us 9.19. So the value of your y when x is 7 is 9.19. You see that? Then the other one, so that's like saying find sales when advert is 7. So sales is 9.19 when advert is 7. Then now they say find advert when sales is 4. You know, y is representing sales. So I will now still use the same equation. Now let me try to clean this now. You must have written it down. So I'm going to have the same equation, y equals to 0.44 plus 1.25x. That's what you have. Now here now they want us to find x when y is 4. So I'm now going to have, where I see y, I will put 4 equals 0.44 plus 1.25x. Don't forget it is x I'm looking for. So where I see y, I will put 4. So I will now say that 4, 0.04 coming here, we change to minus 0.04, that is plus 0.04 is coming here, we change to minus, equals 1.25x. You see that? This 1.25x, you are still leaving it at this side. You brought this one here. So 4 minus 0.44 equals 1.25x. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So by the time you say 4 minus 0.4, so what do you have? 4 minus 0.44. That will now give me 3.56. 3.56 equals 1.25x. So to get this x, divide both sides by 1.25. 1.25. So this will cancel this. This x, bring it here. Your x will now be equal to 3.56 divided by 1.25. So that will give you 2.848. So this is the value of adverts when sales is 4. So in regression analysis, this is what they can ask you. They will ask you to find the regression equation. Then you can say find y when x is 7 or find x when y is something. Don't forget, at times they may not use x, y. They may use the variable, like I'm using sales and advert. So with this, I've come to the end of regression analysis.